Waheshimiwa, we share a border that stretches nearly from the Indian Ocean, from the Indian Ocean and along Kilimanjaro, across the Kilimanjaro, across the Masai Mara and Serengeti, that to Lake Victoria is not merely a boundary, is not merely a line on our destinies, as a vibrant corridor of the trade, as a vibrant and human trade, culture, and human connection, where goods, ideas, where goods flow, ideas and people flow, reminding us that our progress and our setbacks. We share a language, Kiswahili. We share a language spoken by over 100 making it one of the most powerful and unifying force and a powerful unifying force across our borders. We share communities such as the Maasai and the Kuria, such as the Maasai and the straddle our boundaries, families straddle our boundaries, families that can marry, and traders whose success and entrepreneurs on whose success movement depends on seamless movement of goods and services. And in my delegation, two governors. I have two governors, and from Kajiado, from Narok, who have family, and from Kajiado, across the border, who have family in Tanzania, across the border in Tanzania. But perhaps the most powerful illustration of our unity is found in nature itself. During the Great Wilderness Migration, millions of animals move freely between guided not by Masai Mara, but guided not by borders. They do not stop at borders. They do not stop at borders. They seemingly nature has made seamless. What nature has made seamless not make it. The policy must not make it difficult. Honorable members, it is not honorable members that we are engaged. It is not important that we are engaged in this nearly 4 conversation after the collapse of the nearly 4 decades after the collapse of the East African community. We must reflect honestly. We must reflect. We cannot afford the collapse of the community in 1997 was not its core a clash of ideology. At its core, a clash of capitalism in Kenya, or whether capitalism in Kenya, or Jamaican system sought to advance the welfare of the welfare governance of the people. National or regional governance is ultimately judged by its ability by its ability to deliver and prosperity, where it does not, where it does not, and division, mistrust, and division. Our failure was not in building. Our failure was not in building a share. Our failure was not in building a share economic vision that fitting into narrow and national into narrow national our shared resources, instead of treating our shared resources as joint and strategic assets as joint collective strategic assets for collective benefit. That was not their failure. That was not. It becomes our failure today. It becomes our failure today. And so we must ask ourselves. We must ask ourselves: are we moving forward together, or are we moving forward together, or are we risking becoming victims? Are we risking becoming victims of the same? Are we already living mistakes of the past? Are we already repeating mistakes of the past? The time has come for our generation to move beyond towards incremental, decisive integration. Decisive integration. Because our biggest barrier is not infrastructure or policy. It is the quietness of our relations. That suspicion has cost us time, opportunity, has cost us time, opportunity, and prosperity no longer, and we can no longer afford it. Tuko na maadui wengi. Tuko na maadui wengi, ndugu wa Tanzania, ndugu wa Kenya, ndugu wa Tanzania. Tuko na maadui wengi. Tuko na maadui wengi. Maadui wetu sio wa Kenya. Maadui wetu sio wa Tanzania. Maadui wetu, maadui wetu, maadui wetu, maadui wetu na umasikini, ukosefu wa kazi na umasikini. Wacha nirudie, wacha wa Tanzania, ndugu wa Tanzania, Wakenya wenzangu, maadui wetu sio wa Tanzania, maadui wetu sio wa Tanzania ama Wakenya, kukosa ajira, maadui wetu umasikini, kukosa ajira na kukosa maendeleo, na kukosa maendeleo. Kenya and Tanzania are deep. Our bilateral trade reached approximately $825 million, and we are on course in 2025, and we are on course this year, hitting $1 billion this year, growing, a reflection of growing opportunity. But this is only a fraction of what is possible. Investment cooperation stands as a central pillar of Kenyan enterprises have invested. Kenyan enterprises have invested more than $1.7 billion in Tanzania, creating jobs, advancing jobs, and advancing skills transfer capacity, and strengthening global capacity across key sectors, energy, including manufacturing, financial services, logistics, financial services. Makampuni za Kenya hapa Tanzania, makampuni za Kenya hapa Tanzania ziliongeza 1.7 bilioni ya Kimarekani humu Tanzania. At the same time, Tanzania investments in Kenya. Tanzania now investments in Kenya at US dollars now valued at US dollars 336 million, driving steadily expanding, deepening employment, and fostering cooperation linkages, and fostering shared growth. Makampuni za kutoka humu Tanzania, makampuni za kutoka Tanzania kwetu Kenya, wanaegeza kwetu Kenya. Kampuni ya Taifa Gas kwa mfano, kampuni ya Taifa Gas kwa mfano imeegeza kule Kenya. Kampuni ya Amson wameegeza, kampuni ya Amson wameegeza kule Kenya. Makampuni ya Lake Gas imeegeza, and these are companies that have invested in just the last 3 years. With recent strategic investments, investments from Tanzania, I expect this income of investment, I expect to more than double of investment to more than double by the end of this year. Na unajua wakati Rostam Aziza alitembelea, angependa kutengeneza kujenga, angependa Taifa Gas kujenga one of the largest Taifa Gas in Africa, one of the largest tank farms in Africa, in Mombasa. He had problems. Watu walikuwa wanamzungusha. Nikawaambia Wakenya wenzetu ya kwamba mwekezaji kutoka ni mwenzetu, Tanzania ni mwenzetu. Anatuletea pesa, anatuletea uwekezaji sana, kutafuta wawekezaji muda mrefu sana, lakini wawekezaji ambayo imekuwa pale nyuma, lakini ambayo imekuwa pale nyuma ni kwamba mwekezaji lazima awe mweupe, lazima awe foreigner, lazima awe foreigner, lakini mambo sivyo tena. Lakini mambo sivyo tena. Tuko na kampuni 500 za Kenya, tuko na kampuni 500 za Kenya zinazoegeza. Nimefungua milango kwa makampuni ya Tanzania wakuje waegeze Tanzania, wakuje waegeze Kenya. Joint ventures and SME joint ventures, particular SME partnerships particularly in agro-process, continue to flourish, predictable, underpinned by predictable harmonization, ongoing and strong harmonization, and strong these investor confidence reflect these growing roles of the private sector, the growing role of the private sector of regional integration, of regional integration. Wakati kampuni ya Tanzania walikuja, kampuni ya Tanzania walikuja, kampuni ya Bamburi wakanunua kampuni ya Bamburi Cement. Kuna watu walilalamika kwangu, kaniambia Tanzania, mbona unaruhusu kampuni ya Tanzania, kampuni ya simiti hapa Kenya, kampuni ya simiti hapa. Wale waliniuliza, niliwajibu, ni kampuni hii pia ilikuwa imemilikiwa na ilikuwa inamilikiwa na watu. Mbona hamkulalamika siku ile ilikuwa mbona hamkulalamika siku ile ilikuwa leo inamilikiwa na leo inalalama na Tanzania inalalama. This cross border investments are not merely powerful catalysts. They are powerful catalysts. The deepening interdependence, of our manufacturing and agro-processing sectors, sustained demanding for raw materials, while demanding for raw materials, while addition investment in value addition chains and integrated supply chains. For export, the right policy support, with this right policy support can significantly expand bilateral trade and position parallel economies and position capture our larger share of opportunities, a larger share of the East African community within and the East African community and the African community across the East African community. Across the East African community, intra-regional trade stands between 15 and the vast majority of our trade. The vast majority of our trade still takes place outside our region. Yet, this is not a limitation. This is not a limitation. It is by expanding and trading by expanding each other. And we create more with each other, expand markets, we create jobs, strengthen industries, expand markets, strengthen industries, and build resilience across. At the heart of this opportunity across Kenya, Tanzania, and a wider region. Across Kenya, Tanzania, and a wider region, millions of young men and women are entering the workforce, ambition and determination, and what they seek and determination is not charity. What they seek opportunity is not charity. But by deepening our integration, investing in expanding trade, and we investing in sharing growing our economy. We are not only growing our economies, we are creating pathways and jobs for this generation in Yankee, for this generation in Yankee. We are also addressing one of the most pressing ensuring of our time that the energy and ensure young people that the energy of our young people is enhanced for progress, stability, and shared prosperity. Ladies and gentlemen, members of parliament, for this to happen, we must move national beyond narrow and embrace a mindset where each country's progress reinforces the other's success. It must be grounded in shared in physical and shared investment that bring our deliberate investment that bring our economies closer to in measurable ways, in practical. That is why the project we are advancing together. The project we are advancing together. The development of the road corridor. The development of the road corridor to Malindi to Dar es Salaam is not merely to Dar es Salaam transport. It's not merely. It is a transport of commerce. It is a tourism and people exchange. Tourism and people exchange along our Indian Ocean. Similarly, coastline. The planned expansion similarly of railway connectivity from Voi and onwards towards Burundi and onwards towards Burundi represent towards linking our internet market towards linking our trade market and unlocking trade routes into the Great Lakes region and position between the Indian Ocean as a gateway and the heart between the Indian Ocean African continent and the heart of our African continent. Let me also mention the 400 Kenya Tanzania power interconnect Tanzania spanning power interconnect spanning over 500 connect has done more than it has synchronized our electricity. It has synchronized our electricity, enabled power system, improved reliability power and reduced vulnerability to supply and reduced vulnerability to supply shocks. And as we look ahead, Shinyanga, the proposed Shinyanga Rongai interconnector will deepen its transmission capacity. It will expand the transmission capacity, strengthen the East African power pool, diverse and allow us to optimize Tanzania's gas energy sources, Tanzania's gas, Kenya's geothermal and wind, the region's broader renewable potential, the region's broader reliable potential, competitive, more reliable and competitive regional energy market. But infrastructure must also in a way must also be owned in a way and shared that creates confidence and shared responsibility. By Uganda, the recent acquisition by Uganda in the Kenya Pipeline Company, a stake in the Kenya Pipeline Company in Kenya, in one act is significant. It transformed its role from turning the pipeline into a shared regional asset, anchored in mutual benefit, long-term energy security, and long-term confidence. In the same spirit, Kenya, stands ready. Kenya stands ready as a strategic partner, as a strategic partner in the proposed oil refinery in Tanzania. While I would have naturally such a facility to have preferred such a facility recognized in Mombasa. That Tanga, I fully recognize, is just less than 200 kilometers away. It's just less than 200 kilometers away of the same, and in fact, is part of the same. Listen, economic. Wacha niwaeleze kidogo. Listen, wacha niwaeleze kidogo. Sisi ni partners. Sisi ni partners wa East African Community. Na mawazo yangu ilikuwa ni kwamba we must use ile rasilimali tuko nayo hapa katika ile rasilimali hapa katika bara letu la East Africa kwa industrialization, ituzalishie maji ama iongeze dhamana kwa yale mali ama iongeze dhamana kwa yale maji nayo na itapatia utajiri. Tayari nchi yetu jirani ya Uganda, wamekwisha jenga pipeline, crude pipeline kutoka Hoima mpaka Tanga. Uganda itakuwa tayari kuelekea Tanga kwa miezi, itakuwa tayari ijayo kwa miezi. Wakati niliketi na Rais Museveni, kamuuliza mzee, mbona mafuta yana tuchukue twende tufanyie refinery, twende tufanyie gani refinery, sijui mahala gani, tufuatilie twende twende oil products, mafuta ama oil products ni ghali kwa bei ambayo sisi wenyewe, mbona sisi wenyewe refinery hapa tusijenge refinery hapa. Rais Museveni akanieleza, kama nyinyi kama Uganda peke yetu, kama Uganda peke yetu ile refinery kujenga, na hatuna uwezo wa kujenga peke yetu, na hatuna uwezo wa kujenga Tanzania, kama Kenya na Tanzania wako tayari, tunaweza kujenga ile refinery, tunaweza kujenga ile refinery hapa kwetu. Mimi nikatumana wakakutana na technocrats wangu, wakaenda wakakutana na Rais, tukakubaliana zile nambari, ikafanywa ya kwamba tukiungana, tukajua ya kwamba tukiungana jenga refinery hapa itakuwa ni jenga refinery hapa itakuwa ni jenga ajira, itatuletea ajira, itatuletea. Ndio sababu hiyo nikapendekeza kongamano ya kwamba tuwe na kongamano kule Nairobi, tukawa na kongamano kule Nairobi, kawaita matajiri wetu wa wale Afrika, matajiri wetu wa bara la Afrika ambao wameshajenga refinery wakati mmoja, ambao wameshajenga refinery, na tukakubaliana ya kwamba nafasi tulio nayo to continue is not to continue exporting raw material, importing finished goods and importing finished goods and elsewhere. Na sababu hiyo ya kwamba tukapendekezana ya kwamba Uganda, Tanzania, Uganda Tanzania na refinery tunaweza kuhakikisha kwamba ile mafuta ndio tuhakikishe kwamba ile mafuta kwetu tunairefine hapa kwetu, na pesa na ajira hapa kwetu, na nafasi tutengeneze hapa kwetu, tutengeneze bidhaa zingine, fertilizer ama mbolea hapa kwetu, fertilizer, plastic industry iwe hapa kwetu, plastic industry iwe hapa kwetu, petrochemical badala ya iwe hapa kwetu, badala ya kuzitafuta kutoka nchi zingine kule, badala ya sisi kung'ang'ana kuleta mafuta kutoka Hawaii, kuleta mafuta kutoka Sasiwatu. Sasa nimesikia nyie mnauliza mama bwana yule bwana magumu ameenda kutangaza bwana yule bwana ya Tanga na ameenda kutangaza refinery ya Tanga na kule, na sisi wenyewe hatujatangaza. Sasa nauliza nyinyi, ile refinery bwana is a big investment. Sikizeni, hiyo investment is in billions of dollars. Kama mimi ningekuwa na nafasi ningeipeleka kule Kenya, lakini kwa sababu ya kuamini ujirani na bara letu la Afrika na jumuiya ya East Africa, sisi ni wamoja, nikasema ikijengwa Tanga ni kama vile imejengwa Kenya. Why are we building in Tanga? It is because the crude pipeline is already heading to Tanga. Na mafuta pale malizia itakuwa sehemu fupi sana kutoka Tanga mpaka Mombasa, tupeleke mafuta kwa ile pipeline ambayo tayari it will make our Kenya pipeline commercially viable, better and tutakuwa tunazunguka na Hamusi na wapi kutoka hapa Tanga Mombasa. Sikizeni bana. Kawaida kupata mwekezaji ambaye analeta bilioni lazima uwapige maboti, waambie mazuri wapatie sijui incentives, wapatie nini. Mimi nawasaidia kuleta investment Tanga. kama watu wangwana mlipa sisi wa Kenya. Nasema asante sana. Kwa hivyo let us work as East Africa. What is good for Tanzania is good for Kenya. And what is good for Kenya is good for Tanzania. Tafadhali na wasihi nikiwa rais wa pili kwa mapenzi ya Mungu, kwa heshima yenu kuhutubia bunge hili la watu, the great people of Tanzania. I want to ask you, sisi ni wamoja bwana. We are one people.